What's up, everybody? This is Robert with Trolling in Paradise, back with another anniversary review. It's been a while since I last done one of those. The last one I did was the Type O Negative album Blind Kisses. That was back in August when that album had its 30th anniversary. Of course, just like the previous album I talked about back in August, this one also has its 30th anniversary. I'm talking about Green Day with their album Dookie. There's the front. You can see that little woman from the Black Sabbath Self-Titled album cover right here. And there's Angus on the rooftop from Let There Be Rock right there. Here's the back. One thing to know about this back cover, if you have the CD pressing of this, you'll notice one of the audience members is holding up an Ernie puppet, which this back cover does not on this vinyl, by the way. And yeah, this came out on February 1st, 1994, and it has its 30th anniversary. And that 30th anniversary deluxe edition was just released this past autumn. And I didn't bother getting the deluxe version. I just got this standard reissue on vinyl. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started here with this track listing here. Before I do that, though, I gotta go over the lineup. Lineup was Green Day. It's been since the album Kerplunk, Billy Joe Armstrong on guitar and vocals, Mike Dirnt on bass and vocals, and Trey Cole on drums. And that's the dynamic lineup that's been has always often been known. That's always been known. And Billy is one of the best frontmen of all time, one of my favorite vocalists of all time. All right, so track listing. First song is called Burnout. It is a speedy, antsy rocker centered around the central character's feelings of general apathy towards life. A great way to open the album. Having a Blast is the second song. It revolves around a mentally ill character who plans to use explosives to kill himself and others. So I guess it's a reference to suicide bombing. And yeah, it's the darkest song in the album. Chump is next. It's one of the few songs referencing Billy Joe Armstrong's ex-girlfriend at the time, which around the time he had been through a breakup around that point. His first girlfriend that he had known. And she was so toxic to him. So yeah. Longview. That's the longest song of the album, almost 4 minutes long. It was the first single. That it has a really cool bass line that goes like that Mike came up with while he was under the influence of LSD, and the song's music video got a lot of airplay on MTV. It was featured on Beavis and Butthead, obviously, and Beavis and Butthead trolled that video, and Billy Joe Armstrong described it, based it on himself when he was living in a little town in Rodeo, California, a very boring town with nothing to do. So to entertain himself, he does nothing but watch television. Kind of a little fitting role because Beavis and Butthead tend to watch television a lot, and they watch music videos on it, and they troll videos, obviously. Welcome to Paradise was one of the other singles that was originally released on their album Kerplunk, and they kept the composition the same. This song was written about Billy's experiences living in bad neighborhoods around Oakland, California. Pulling Teeth is one of the slower paced songs. It is a dark song. It's about domestic violence. The typical victim and perpetrator are reversed. The male narrator is at the mercy of his partner. This song's inspiration came from a pillow fight that the bassist had with his girlfriend at the time. Unfortunately, the bassist got injured in that pillow fight, broke his elbow. Basket Case, the big hit off that one. That was the second single. And yes, that was the other song where its video was on Beavis and Butthead. And they trolled it, of course. Butthead compared the setting to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And it deals with Billy Joe Armstrong's anxiety attacks and feelings going crazy prior to having been diagnosed with a panic disorder around this time. All right, She, obviously another song written about an ex-girlfriend of the singer's who showed him a feminist poem with the identical title of the song. In return, he wrote the lyrics to that song and showed them to her. And of course, that led to them breaking up, and that girl ran off to Ecuador to join the Peace Corps. And he decided to put that song on the album as a result. It's slightly faster than Basket Case and draws inspiration from the Beatles. And the next track is Sassafras Roots, the last song to reference that ex-girlfriend of his. It's an unconventional love song, uses irony and sarcasm in an effort to avoid being direct, and stars on a couple wasting time together in a romantic relationship. And When I Come Around, that was another big one. It's one of my favorites on the album. This time it was inspired by his wife, Adrienne, who he actually married that summer in 1994. They have 2 sons who are also musicians. Coming Clean, shortest song on the album, 1 minute and 34 seconds, about Billy Joe Armstrong coming to terms with being bisexual around that time. He was still looking for himself, had no well-defined orientation, although he ended up coming out in 1995 as bi, and the rest is history. Enemies Sleepus, written by bassist Mike Durant. It's about 2 old friends who meet by chance, and the narrator realizes they've both changed as a lot as people. In the end, second to last on the album, Billy Joe Armstrong wrote this one about his mom and stepfather, and the reproach Armstrong felt toward his mom for choosing his stepfather as a partner, as biological dad died when he was very young. And the last song is FOD, which means fuck off and die. It started with Billy Joe Armstrong playing on acoustic guitar for a little bit, and then the band suddenly rose in louder full force fashion. The theme centers around the singer's grudge for another individual wishing misfortune on them. And that closes the vinyl pressing, although on the CD version there is a little 1.5 minutes of silence, and then Trey Cool has a song, does a little novelty song to close it out called All By Myself, which is just dumb. So yeah. The Green Day album, how does it hold up? A lot of people that were born during the 1980s, they grew up listening to that album, and a lot of them did purchase that album when it came out, and it sold very well. They actually played Lollapalooza that summer. I had an instructor who actually saw Green Day at that festival up in Vancouver with Beastie Boys and Smashing Pumpkins as well. So yeah. Yeah, this is an easy 9 out of 10 in terms of this release. This is a great album. And yeah, Basket Case, I can definitely go back to that. That was one of the first songs I learned on the drums, along with Longview. And When I Come Around, Welcome to Paradise were also ones I learned. So I learned the 4 singles from that on the drums. So yeah, when I was a teenager, when I was starting out on drums, the Longview was one of the first songs I learned. So yeah, that's it for this review. I'll see you later.